All right, what is going on, Notre Dame fans? I'm Tyler Horka. That's Jack Sobel. We are with blueandgold.com, Blue and Gold Illustrated. Right there in that building behind us, Notre Dame's 17th fall camp practice of the preseason slate took place today. So really at this point, you're kind of transitioning out of fall camp almost and into Navy prep week, because as we stand here today in South Bend, that'll take place 11 days from now, August 26th, in Dublin, Ireland. So today's practice, we saw 5 periods, some stretching obviously as well. So about a half hour of practice, and I'll lead off with something I saw toward the end. Preparation for Navy's triple option offense began for us. From what we saw, this is our first media viewing since last Friday, I believe it was, in earnest, with some defending of the triple option. And it looked like the secondary players were kind of the ones in focus, and you would say, don't you need the defensive linemen, linebackers to be on that? Obviously, yes, in portions that we're not privy to seeing and all that other stuff. That's what's taking place, no doubt. But in the couple periods that I saw today, you had Cam Hart running up, filling run gaps, Jaden Mickey, Benjamin Morrison. Really, you're making sure those guys don't lose outside contain and really slip to the inside of the field when they need to, so a fullback doesn't run for 30 or 40 yards up the middle of the field and you're saying, hey, where was the last line of defense? Sometimes the cornerback is that last line of defense, especially when a play gets going to the boundary. So I thought that was really interesting today because, like we said, this thing is only 11 days from kicking off. Notre Dame needs to start defending that triple option. Before that, we saw some more Notre Dame-specific things. Kind of has been the theme. I think 3 practices in a row that we've been able to watch. 11 on 11 to get things going, some tempo plays, 1s versus 1s, 2s versus 2s, a handful of plays for both of those groups. We'll start with the 1s, and you were watching the offense. What'd you see, Jack?
Yeah, the offense with the 1s, I saw the first thing that we noticed was that the starting center for Notre Dame, Zeke Correll, was not practicing today. He was off to the side in what we call the pit, that little area in the corner of the Irish Athletic Center where injured players work out. Correll was there. No pads, no jersey, just in T-shirt and shorts, and he had a boot on his left foot. It was a smaller boot than I think some of us have seen, but it was a boot.
It was mixed between a brace and a boot. I don't. People hear boot and they think, oh, it's going up to his shin. No. That was Jarrett Patterson last year. This is Zeke Correll this year. You'd say more like a heavy-duty brace.
Yeah. Heavy-duty brace. You might have seen a tweet from Pete Sampson of the Athletic saying that Correll is not expected to miss time as of now. We won't get official word likely until Marcus Freeman does his weekly press conference this Monday, his first weekly press conference of the season. But that is something to monitor going forward. Other than that, with the offense with the first team, sticking with that interior offensive line, I thought I saw some good things from left guard Pat Coogan, who as of now we do expect. I think at this point we can probably safely say this. We do expect Pat Coogan, the junior, to start over Billy Strouth, the sophomore. Strouth, the more highly recruited player, but Coogan is expected to start. At least on our end, this week 1. I saw him do some good things in pass protection and run blocking against Howard Cross, the nose tackle. He also had a nice kick-out block. I believe it was on J.D. Bertrand. They ran a counter run play on the first one. On the other side,
kind of sealed the edge on
that. Yeah, he did.
Let Payne shut up
the
middle.
It's a good kick-out block, probably gained like 4, but Coogan helped with that. On the other side, Rocco Spindler, a bit of a tough first session for him. He did have the tough assignment, though, of blocking Riley Mills. Who looks tremendous right now. I mean, he looks fantastic. Those were the 2 main things I would say from the first team offense. The other one, I saw an encouraging play on Sam Hartman's part, the quarterback for Notre Dame. On one of those plays where Mills just blew right past Rocco Spindler up the middle from that three technique spot. Forced pressure immediately. Hartman didn't panic. He was forced off his spot, but sidestepped him and threw a nice little check down to Jabron Payne, created a gain of like 5 or 6 out of what could have been a sack, and I thought he did a pretty good job there.
In the kind of while he was doing that sidestep, he was kind of going through progressions, too, from what I saw in the video that I took. And he was looking left, and he said, okay, I've got to go right because Riley Mills is right in my face. Yeah. And that's when he found Payne. So it was a good play. It's good to point that out. Other things from the 1s versus 1s, Cam Hart was back in
what I saw from Cam Hart today.
in live periods. This was the first time we've seen him since getting dinged up a week ago today at Schoolfield in South Bend. He was back running with the 1s, outside corner. And I think it was the second play right after that Jabron Payne up the middle play, he kind of disrupted an intended target for Jaden Thomas. So that's kind of the ones versus, or the what would they call it, best on best, good on good, that we saw a couple practices ago when we saw some competitive one-on-one stuff, and they said, hey, put your best on offense and we'll put our best on defense. It was Thomas versus Hart. Thomas got the best of him a couple weeks ago. Today, in 11-on-11, Cam Hart was right there. There was no chance of that pass getting completed. He was all over it, and like you said, he looked fluid and good otherwise. I'll shift over to the twos. I'm not sure if you saw anything from the twos. We'll get there with the offense. Defensively, Drake Bowen, Jalen Sneed, very, very assignment sound. There was a play that went out to the boundary. I can't remember if it was Devin. I think it was Devin Ford. Caught like a slip screen from Steve Angeli. And bam, first thing that he sees is number 3 in white, who is Jalen Sneed. If this was live and they were tackling to the ground and pushing each other out of bounds, I think Sneed would have pushed him out of bounds for no gain, maybe a gain of 1. He was all over the play. There was another play where Steve Angeli was kind of surveying the middle of the field, and Cooper Flanagan was the route that he was looking at. It was just a simple out route. I think Flanagan wasn't even in line. He might have been lined up in the slot, and he was trying to get out quickly. Clarence Lewis in coverage, which makes sense because he's been a big nickel cover guy for the second team Notre Dame defense, and even the first team Notre Dame defense at times, was in coverage on Flanagan, and Angeli was looking there. Drake Bowen, playing his middle linebacker spot, shot all the way out to the boundary, or to the, closer to the middle of the field where that was going on, and really kind of hurried Angeli's throw. Angeli was like, shoot, I got to get this out there. He threw it in front of Flanagan. Bowen might have even gotten a hand on it. You had a really nice video angle.
Yeah, on the we kind of slowed down that replay angle. It looked like it wasn't much, but it looked like Bowen kind of got a finger on it that changed the ball from a spiral to a bit of a duck.
Yep.
And it was a really nice play on his part.
Yeah, and it went sailing away. And from the video that I took, if Bowen didn't get there and maybe get a fingertip on it and definitely disrupt the pass, I think Flanagan had Lewis beat, and that thing's probably going for first down yardage, maybe 10 to 15 yards, because he gets the edge and turns upfield. All of a sudden, a safety is the next guy that's got to tackle him there. So really good play by Bowen. That translated into individual drills. I'll just say really quickly, a lot of tackling going on for the Notre Dame defense because, again, I mean, season opener is only a few days away at this point, a week and a half. So tackling dummies, shoestring tackles, bringing dummies to the ground, diving at them, lunging. I mean, these are the type of tackles where they're not wearing pads on their legs. It was only uppers, no lowers today, but they were flying at these dummies and rolling on the ground, making sure everything got to the ground when it was those dummies. Jalen Sneed, Drake Bowen, very impressive just in terms of their length, their speed, viciousness, honestly. I mean, these are some brutal. I wouldn't want to be those tackling dummies. Let's just say that. Jack, let's wrap it up with what you saw offensively from the twos. I know I gave away some of the Angeli stuff and what he was looking at, but offensively with the twos, and then maybe some of the stuff you saw in individual drills as well.
Yeah, offensively with the twos real quick, the one notable personnel piece was that, Cooper Flanagan, like you said, was running with the twos a little bit at tight end, maybe perhaps a precursor to him getting on the field a bit early. Notre Dame, I'm not going to count Davis Sherwood in this. I think Notre Dame sees him as more of an H-back, but he should still play a bit. But the core 4 tight ends right now with Kevin Bauman, unfortunately lost to the season with a partially torn ACL. The core 4 tight ends are Mitchell Evans, I think at this point pretty clearly tight end 1. Yep. Holden Stays, Eli Raridan, Cooper Flanagan. They're all getting some time with the 1s and 2s, so we could see some heavy rotation there. Jaden Greathouse, we say this every practice, had a pretty impressive catch. They started out with the 2s with a little bootleg.
Yeah,
cool looking play. Steve Angeli, they kind of faked outside zone to the left, rolled Steve Angeli out to the right. He set his feet and threw a little bit behind and a little bit low to Greathouse, but Greathouse reached down, didn't panic at all, just adjusted his body, made the catch, shielded the ball from Clarence Lewis. Another really nice play from Greathouse. We can say it 100% he will be on the field in Ireland. Absolutely. The other depth chart note, Charles Jagasaw still with the 2s at right guard. The freshman, we believe naturally a tackle. He believes naturally a tackle, but running with the guards with the 2s. Ashton Craig, the center with the 1s in place of Zeke Correll. With the 2s, walk-on graduate student, I believe Quinn Murphy was the second-team center. Billy Strouth again at left guard. In individuals, I was watching some routes on air with Sam Hartman. Had a nice corner. He had a nice corner pass to Tobias Merriweather. That went for what probably would have been a touchdown. Overthrew one to Deion Colsey one time, but overall looked pretty sharp in routes in air. And then other than that, in individual drills, with the offensive lineman, I saw Joe Rudolph, offensive line coach, get a little fired up for the first time. He wasn't happy with the rep from a few of the twos at offensive lineman. I didn't see exactly who was yelling at, but he was fired up. He's like, get in the gap and be explosive, with a couple of words taken out of that quote there. And then on the next rep, they did better, and he said, good job, again with the word taken out.
Yeah.
But I saw some fire from Rudolph, and I kind of like to see it.
Yeah, that's the urgency that you get with kickoff being 11 days away. And by the way, this is the first time we've seen these guys practice in the afternoon. I should have asked around. We'll probably have this information for you at blueandgold.com, either on the message board or maybe a front page article. But I was talking to some of the people on the beat, some of the other media members. I think they practice in the afternoon today because Dublin is, what do we determine, 5 hours ahead?
5 hours ahead right now.
5 hours ahead. So they started practice at 2:50 today. That'd be 7:50 Dublin time. Kickoff on August 26th is at 7:30 Dublin time. And again, it's rapidly approaching. Joe Rudolph obviously knows it's rapidly approaching, and I think all of these guys that practice at that building there behind us know what is going on in 11 days. We will be back at it again for the final time in fall camp tomorrow, which is Wednesday, August 16th. Until then, go to blueandgold.com. We've got a bunch of practice coverage and stories from the Notre Dame running backs coming your way. I'm Tyler Horka. That's Jack Sobel, and we'll see you guys next time.